just looking at Ethereum, I've done this exercise. It's been great since I've given talks every year since this paper came out. Roughly, I've rerun the numbers. Someone actually did an experiment just 2 months ago where they measured the most efficient way to do Ethereum mining by running capacity on Amazon. So that was great. We have pretty decent numbers now. Basically, for a $3 million an hour bill to Amazon, you could rent enough capacity to be 51% attacker on the Ethereum network. So that seems pretty low compared to thinking about how much it would cost to build all that capacity yourself. So just looking at different graphics cards on the network, which are typically used to mine Ethereum, and if you look at the number you need to buy, you need to buy millions of these things to get to 51% capacity, and the cost would be somewhere in the billions. And similarly for Bitcoin, you can do the exercise of looking at the most efficient mining hardware on the market, multiplying out how much you need to become a majority miner, and you get a figure that's somewhere in the tens of billions. Of course, you can probably make a lot of objections to these calculations that I haven't factored in the cost of land or buildings, installing all of this. Of course, you're also going to get probably a large discount for buying in bulk when you're buying millions of these things, and you might have access to slightly better equipment. But I would think that the 10 billion is probably within a factor 10 in either direction of the right number. So like I said, I've done this calculation every year, which has been, it's sort of interesting actually to see how, even though my methodology is quite rough, the figures have come out fairly consistent, that it's typically in the few $1 million an hour range to do a rental attack against Ethereum. And it's typically several billion dollars to become a majority miner by building on Ethereum or Bitcoin. It's also been sort of interesting how the costs for Ethereum and Bitcoin haven't been too far apart, even though the market caps of those systems are too far apart. So it does seem that there doesn't seem to be some strict correlation when I've looked at other systems too, that there's any sort of golden rule in the wild for how much it would cost to build out capacity to be a 51% attacker on these networks. And perhaps part of the reason for that is that the market cap can change very quickly with the whims of the market, whereas the capacity that's actually mining on these systems changes much, much more slowly.